Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us today. We're going to get started right about now, and we want to welcome everyone to this webinar with LawPay's Janelle Benefield on accepting credit cards and staying compliant with the ABA. So, Janelle, you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are super excited to have you. I know you've been with LawPay since it seems like the very beginning.
That's correct. So I'm very excited for this opportunity to be here this afternoon and, just share some ideas and some information with you about our program and our integration with PracticePanther.
Awesome, awesome. So just to introduce everyone to who's in the call, so I'm David, CEO of PracticePanther. I'm actually a registered merchant agent myself since 2011, so I know a thing or two about credit card processing. And Janelle is the Client Success Director for LawPay. She is actually tasked with maintaining LawPay's high-quality customer service experience for both new and existing clients. Her role is also focused on customer communication strategies, ensuring that all client needs are met in a friendly, timely, and a professional manner. And one thing I can share with everyone is that all the people that use PracticePanther absolutely love LawPay. They love the support from LawPay. They love the chat. They love the phone support. They love the dashboard and the reporting. And from someone who's been in the industry for a while, I can tell everyone on this call that LawPay has one of the easiest ways to get started with processing credit cards. Within a week, you're good to go, even less. And they have amazing reports. So you guys have been doing a really good job, Janelle. Keep it up.
Thank you. That's so kind. That's what we try to do.
Yes, and you're doing a good job. So we're going to get started with the agenda, what we're going to cover today, the top 10 things. So the first thing we're going to start off with is the ABA rules of staying compliant, especially in accepting trust payments. We're going to discuss a little bit behind LawPay's technology, what makes them so great and unique to the legal industry. Then we're going to show you how to add payment links to emails, to your website, so you're going to be able to get paid faster and accept credit cards starting today, if you don't already. And you can also set up automated payment plans. So if you have customers that you charge every single month, you can do that as well. We're going to go into a little bit about the PracticePanther integration with LawPay and how seamless and easy it is to use, how to add payments to a trust account, request payments, put in a customer's credit card information. We're going to go into some benefits of LawPay. And lastly, we're going to open it up for some Q&A with both me and Janelle. So a lot of people have joined us recently. Once again, this webinar is recorded, so you will get an email afterwards with everything we are talking about so you can review it. And you have a question box, so you can type in any questions as we're going through the webinar. At the very end of the webinar, we're going to get to all of your questions. All right, so getting started, we are going to discuss ABA Rule 1.15, Safekeeping Property. So I'm just going to kind of break it down section by section, because obviously, like all attorneys know, there's a lot of legal jargon in here. So the first thing we're going to go through is point number A. A lawyer should hold property of clients or third person that is in the lawyer's possession. So basically what this first line means is that you as an attorney have to keep your property and money separate from your clients. That is really important. So if a client pays you a retainer to your trust account, you must keep that separate from your operating account. You cannot commingle the funds. That's very important. Number two, funds shall be kept in a separate account maintained in your state. So basically, you have to keep the money in an account in your state. So if we live in Florida, the money has to be in a bank account or trust account in Florida. Or you can do it elsewhere, but you have to have the consent of your client or third person. Moving on, C, paragraph C. You can only transfer money to your operating account once your fees have been earned for or for agreed expenses. So once you earn the fees, you do some work, you track time, you bill your client, then you can move the money from your trust to operating. Or if you have any agreed expenses that you've already incurred, you can obviously transfer that money from the trust to operating as well. Always make sure, though, you have full transparency. You let your clients know what's happening. You let them know you're moving the funds, so they always know what's going on. That's the most important. And that's where the last paragraph comes in, D, that says you must notify your client as soon as you receive the money. So it's just a good rule of thumb to let your clients know what's happening all the time with their money. And especially if you use a software like PracticePanther, there is a client portal where your client can go in to their client portal and see how much money they have in both their operating and trust account right now, live in real time, if you allow them to see that information. So it makes it really transparent for the attorney. And last but not least, you want to keep the client's property separate until a dispute is resolved. So if there is any arguments, any disputes, anything happening in court, you must keep their property separate until it's resolved. And very important, you must also distribute all property or money that is not in dispute. So if you win a claim or a settlement and you get the full amount, you must distribute it to your client right away without waiting any time. Janelle, anything to add on these?
No, I think you've done a wonderful job of showcasing, this ABA model rule for sure, and certainly, just a quick snapshot. One of the reasons that attorneys have really been hesitant to accept credit cards for payment is they're concerned about their trust account, and specifically this rule in particular. And so rather than even trying to figure anything out, they just said, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to keep collecting on check. And in today's environment, with the way the payment card industry has really evolved and changed, attorneys can't put their heads in the sand anymore. It's time to come out and look at some technology and solution that allows your clients an easy way to make a payment, and the best way to do that is in the cloud or online. And so we're going to be visiting about that a little bit more.
Awesome. And then the first thing we're going to start off with actually is a poll seeing, do you currently accept credit cards today? So we're going to launch that poll right now. There are 3 answers. Yes, you do accept credit cards today. No, you do not. Or I used to, but not anymore. And it looks like the majority of people are saying yes. So far, 85% are saying yes.
Wonderful.
And let's share the results with everyone. All right. So 86% of people said yes, they are accepting credit cards today, and 14% are saying no, they do not. And I'm actually curious how many accept credit cards with LawPay. I'm sure it's a large amount as well. All right, so moving on, Janelle, kind of take us through LawPay's introduction, how you guys got started, and why you are the greatest solution for attorneys and for the legal industry.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so I just want to share with you a little bit of our LawPay story. And we're, a payment solution, of course, but we're really designed for legal professionals. So we're based out of Austin, Texas. We were founded in 2005. And in 2006, we really started to work with a lot of local or county bar associations and the attorneys that were their members. And there was a large need for the ability to take retainer payments even then on debit and credit cards, but to make sure the funds were handled the right way. And so over the last 10 years, we've been fine-tuning that process, improving it and making it better, and really helping guide our attorneys online to use technology and incorporate it into their practice. And so today we process payments for 30,000 professional organizations across the country. We have built an in-house proprietary technology and really, with the legal industry in mind, and we are level 1 PCI compliant. So we handle that security piece so that our law firms don't have to.
Awesome. And one of the things I got to tell you that I love the most, I've seen and used and tried a lot of other credit card processors, and they're back, and when you log in to see how much money you made, if you had any chargebacks or how to give a refund, it's just very, very complicated. What I specifically love about LawPay is how easy you make everything from start to finish, even the application. Even today still, there are some merchant companies that if you want to sign up and start using credit cards, you have to fill out a 40-page application with your social and banks and this, and it's just so complicated, and your sign-up process is super easy. I think everything is streamlined. Once you're a customer, you see all the reports of how much money you make and the charts and the graphs. You guys just make it super, super easy. So once again, very good job on that.
Very good. Thank you.
No problem.
We've been working hard, so.
Yep. So take us through this exactly. So you have the trust and operating account, and with LawPay, you can open up 2 separate accounts, correct?
Correct. So, what we've done, that is really unique in the industry. When we started out 10 years ago, there really wasn't a great solution for law firms. And, law firms were just, setting up an account with their local bank. They had a terminal in their office, and it was something that they would only offer to clients if they asked for it. And that was the reality of life. And so we really developed the ability for lawyers to feel comfortable taking trust and retainer payments on a debit card and also a credit card. And the reason that's really important is that in 2004, the debit card usage on the networks actually surpassed credit card usage.
Wow.
And today, debit card is growing at a much faster pace than credit cards. And so if you accept credit cards, that's great, but we're really trying to educate our law firms that, debit cards are just as important. And, so those of you that are on the phone, if you remember having an ATM card back in the day like I did, your ATM card, you could only pull out cash, but it didn't have a Visa MasterCard logo on it. Today,
Right.
the Visa MasterCard logo is, branded on that debit and check card. And if you open up a new bank account, by the time you get home, your debit card is in the mail. It's in your mailbox. It's crazy how fast that is, but they're getting those debit cards out to you as quickly as they can. And so it's really just an efficient way of moving money from one checking account to another.
Is
Now,
there a benefit of taking a payment by debit card as opposed to credit card? Are the fees lower? Do you get paid faster?
well, so the fees are, like on the LawPay solution, the fees are structured, the 1.95% is for a personal credit or debit card. And so that is
Okay.
considered lower than a traditional specialty card, like a corporate card or,
Right.
maybe an international card if you're doing immigration law. But, some of the benefits is you just get paid faster than being paid on a check. So the beauty of the Visa MasterCard network is when you dial out to the network, you know in 2 seconds whether the funds are available and an approval code is generated. And when we generate that approval code, we actually freeze the money on the cardholder's account on your behalf. And
Interesting.
so, that goes through the networks. The timing continues to get faster. Um, and so that's made a huge difference in our industry and a huge difference in our growth. And how we're seeing that impact professionals is more people want to pay their bills, aka the invoices they receive from their attorneys, on their debit or check card. And they want to pay that over the phone, they want to pay it online.
Yep.
They
Yep.
want a convenient way to pay. And so, it's not just about credit card processing anymore today. It's about getting into that, taking a payment from their checking account, but doing it electronically. And so, just to, kind of walk through what that looks like. Most of you already take credit cards, but, here on the LawPay solution, we give firms the ability to separate their unearned and earned fees. And so if you took a $5,000 retainer payment on a debit card, for example, we would deposit that full $5,000 into the trust account. If you wanted to process a $1,000 invoice payment, for example, we would deposit or direct that full $1,000 into the operating account. And really the key to our program and what makes this unique is any credit card processing fees incurred for either transaction is only deducted out of the operating account. And
Yeah, that's a
so
big one.
we make sure that that trust account, there's no fear of invasion. We're not deducting fees out of that account, and we're depositing the full amount into trust. And so that's why our program is recommended by 42 state bars and 50 metro bars across the country, along with the ABA. We're part of the ABA Advantage program as well.
Yeah, and that's one thing I don't think a lot of people know, that we educate them every single day, is that a lot of people that we speak to that don't take credit cards will sign up for PayPal, which is 3.3% gouging amount. But what they don't know is that whenever they take a payment, PayPal automatically takes the fees out of the payment. And if it's going into a trust account, that's not good. So people listening or watching this, they must make sure the fees come out of the operating account. It is really bad to do it the other way around, and a lot of people don't know this, and they're breaking the rule every single day. I had one question to ask you, Janelle. When
Sure.
someone pays you with credit card, generally speaking, how long does it take to get into your bank account?
That's a great question. So the normal time frames is 2 business days. So we normally, the transactions come in and that approval code is generated in 2 seconds and the money goes on hold. And I usually tell folks that's step 1. So we make sure the money's there. It's good. If they go somewhere else and they overdraft their account, the card will get declined. But that money is on hold. And I don't know if you guys have ever, you know, gone shopping or gone, and used it at Lowe's or Home Depot or Target. You log into your online banking uh, from your smartphone, that money's already pending.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that approval process is very fast. Then at the end of the day, we send the deposits out for payment. And so you generally see it hit your local bank account in 2 business days. And so, that's the normal time frame depending on your bank.
Got it. Yeah, it's pretty quick. I know that you guys also do a lot of things with technology. So give us the rundown behind your back end, your dashboard, and everything that people can do once they log in.
Sure, sure. Well, so, we've been doing this for a long time, and we had a lot of clients processing on terminals, regular machines there in their office. And we also worked with the bar associations who were processing their dues payments online. And there's just so much technology, there's so much opportunity in the cloud for better reporting and better tools and systems, and even better branding to make the attorney look better. That we started working on our technology based on our client feedback to give you a better solution. And so, one of the things, and David mentioned PayPal. PayPal is a wonderful solution. It works beautifully if you're in a retail environment, if you're doing, they worked with eBay for a long time, if you were doing online auctions. But for a professional law firm, PayPal may not be the best fit. We provide a solution that allows you to have a modern payment tool. We provide a payment page, but the most important thing is it carries your branding and your law firm name, and it's secure. And so when the clients are taken onto your payment page, they're not wondering, am I in the right place? Am I paying the right company? Because now,
Yep,
let's say I'm on PayPal, they know
yep.
I'm on a payment page, I see your law firm name, they put in their credit card information, and they know they're paying you. And so it looks much more professional and modern, and it gives clients an easy way to pay. If they want to pay at 11 o'clock at night, because that's when they're doing their bills, they're not limited to calling you during your office hours. You can send them an email, they can click a link and make a payment, safe and secure. And so, that's what we're really passionate about, is helping attorneys to get paid. Which, when I present CLEs across the country, they're like, wow, nobody wants to help attorneys. Well, we do. We want to help you get paid and make money. And so
Yeah.
that's what these tools are designed to do.
Awesome. And I got to tell you as well. So we also integrate with PayPal, but the process, your integration with softwares like ours is so much better than PayPal, like you said, because whenever an attorney's client has to pay them, if they're using PayPal, they have to go off the site, off the page, no logo, and PayPal makes them fill in 15 steps: name, address, birth date, this, password, sign up for a free account. It's crazy. But then with
Mm.
LawPay, it's all seamless. It's all integrated. You have their logo. They don't need the website. They don't need the invoice. And all I ask for is, credit card number, CVV code, and expiration date. It's really quick and easy. So it makes it so much easier than PayPal. So we
Yeah.
love that from your end. So very good job as well. And I think that takes us into our next slide of making payments easy. So you guys do a really good job in making it really easy to get paid, I guess. So explain us, this is basically a link that they could put in their email to get paid, correct?
Correct. So on the LawPay program, we create a payment page, and this is kind of taking another look at how you can use the payment page in a variety of ways. And then we'll get into the more sophisticated options, which is the integration with PracticePanther for sure. But, this is how you can incorporate your payment page by using a hyperlink in your email. And so that could be on one-on-one correspondence. You can include, what we're looking at here is you're sending an email for a January invoice. You've attached the invoice to that email, and there's a button in it that says Pay Invoice. And they can click on it, and they'll be taken onto that secure law firm website. And in the URL address, they'll see your law firm name. They'll see your logo, your branding, all your contact information, and they can make a payment. If you need to email somebody an invoice, maybe they didn't get it in the mail, um, Or, you're doing it as a follow-up. Maybe you've mailed out your invoices and you have some slow pay or delinquent clients. You can email them this link and say, oh, we now take debit and credit cards. Here's a link that you can click on and make a payment. I'm sure they just overlooked it, and now let's give them an easy way to make that payment. Some of our law firms even include a link to this payment page in their signature line. So there's always a link to make a payment in any correspondence they're having with their clients. And so there's some interesting ways you can incorporate this into your business. And again, it's just giving people as many opportunities as possible to pay you, which is always a good thing.
Right. So one of the options is like the website. You can put it on the top of your website, the bottom of your website, wherever you want, basically.
Right. So this is something I really like to showcase. It's the same payment page. It's just now we're going to connect it to your website. And so I really like talking to attorneys about this because it modernizes your practice. Certainly one of the best ways to use the payment page is to put it in your main navigation, make a payment, click here to pay. And then if you're sending out paper invoices or if you're doing electronic invoices, you can say, go to my website to make a payment, and you're driving traffic here. So, it's giving you an opportunity to market. Maybe you're opening up a new practice, or you're adding on a new partner, or you have some exciting news that you want to share. If you're training your people to go back to your website to make a payment, that's a good thing. And
Yep.
so make a payment is wonderful. This particular example gives you an opportunity. They've actually incorporated in both their invoice or their operating account and their retainer payments or their trust
I see
account.
that.
Now, not every firm feels comfortable putting a link to make a payment into the trust account on their website, and I understand that. But just showing this as an example, some firms do put it out there and say, if you want to pay an invoice, click here. If you want to refresh a retainer, click here. And, they've done a good job of setting up some visual cues so that, people are selecting the correct account. And again, these are just ideas that you can incorporate into your business to make it easier to pay. And we're seeing firms having a lot of success with this. It doesn't require a coder. It doesn't require hours of work, and somebody has to link that to your website. It's very easy to do, and we can walk you through that. And so again, just another opportunity to give them a payment method.
That's awesome. So this is basically for one-time payments. They want to make a one-time payment on an invoice or a
Mhm.
trust, but then you also have automated payment plans. So how does this looks pretty easy. So explain how this works.
So this is a great example from within our portal, and we do have the ability to create payment plans. And we're starting to see, some law firms really embracing and using this as a payment method. Most of you probably have had a gym membership, maybe some a tanning salon back in the day, where you had an automatic payment that was coming out of your account every month. It's really evolved today, where you can easily create an installment plan and allow someone to pay off a balance. And so what this does is, if you have someone who's behind on a bill, for example, maybe they owe you $1,000, you can have the system set up to automatically deduct $100 out of their account on a specific date until that balance of $1,000 or $5,000 is paid off. And so the solutions today are much more sophisticated. It's not just set a payment and let it ride forever. It's helping you to automate putting people on payment plans and give them some options to catch up. And that way, it's not additional workload on your office to stay on top of those payments. It can all be automated. And again, just making it easier for them to pay. A little bit of something is better than nothing. So, getting them on a payment plan and getting them sending money in on a regular basis.
That's awesome. And then once you set it up, they don't need to accept or approve everything every single month. They agree to it once, and then it does it automatically for them, correct?
Exactly. And we have authorization forms. We have kind of some sample language that we share with our law firms. Here's a great way to ask for credit card data in your retainer agreements. Here is
Uh,
some language for putting people on payment plans and getting them to sign off and say, yes, I agree to this payment plan schedule. And then that helps you be able to set them up and have these automated payments running. But you've secured the permission ahead of time. But, we're certainly happy to walk you through that and share our sample language with you, and talk through ideas.
that's awesome. Yeah, one thing I love about you guys, you're always educating and giving away such good free content between you and Claude and everyone there. You're doing CLEs for free. It's just amazing all the information you give out.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know what? We want you guys to take more payments. The goal is to make it better and easier. And so,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
if we can move the needle over a little bit more, that's the goal. So,
Awesome. Well, you're doing a great job. So now we're going to kind of switch gears and discuss how LawPay does integrate with PracticePanther. And we have something called Panther Payments that is powered by LawPay. So whenever you make an invoice in our software and you send it to your customer, they can click the link directly from the invoice and they can pay you directly from the link. You can set credit cards. You can send automatic payment reminders. If someone forgets to pay before the due date, after it's due, you can do all this automatic as well. So like Janelle was saying, we too try to automate as much as possible for attorneys so they can obviously get more done a lot faster and get paid faster. So pretty much here's a general look at how an invoice looks. And also whenever you send the payment request, you can do the same thing. You can actually tell the client to either pay you to your operating account or to your trust account. We offer that as well. So syncing with LawPay is actually really, really simple. Some of you don't have this yet. All you need to do is go to your settings, click Accept Credit Card Payments, and then click Connect LawPay. That's pretty much it. Then it's going to take you to LawPay's website. You enter your credentials, you sign in, you agree, and that's it. That is the whole integration. That's all it takes. It's about 10 seconds of your time. So it's very, very, very easy to integrate. And then actually requesting a payment from your customer is as easy as clicking on Actions and then Payment. And then we're going to give you a few different options, but you can either pay an invoice or you can add a retainer into your account. And when you click on this, it's going to give you a few options. You can either charge the card right there on the spot, or you can send an email to your customer to request a payment, or you can add a payment manually yourself. So it's the exact same features and functionalities that LawPay offers on their backend, on their dashboard, but they're just integrated and built into our software. So you don't need to leave the app and go there and do it from there. And also, whatever you do in our software will update everything in PracticePanther, including the client information, the matter, the invoice, and it will also update in real time on LawPay's end. So everything is always in sync. So we're going to take you through some of these three options quickly. The first one is charging a card. So like we said, it's really easy to charge a card through LawPay or through PracticePanther. All you need is the card number, expiration date, and security code, because we already have the customer's information and name, first name, last name, because you've already put that in. So that's pretty much all it takes. And as soon as you click Pay Now, you can take the payment yourself. One thing that's very important that a lot of people ask us, Janelle, is that do you have to have equipment? So the answer is no. You don't need to have equipment anymore. You don't need to have a credit card scanner at your office. You don't need to be connected to the Wi-Fi for your credit card scanner. You can do this all from your computer and from your phone and from your tablet. And if I'm correct, correct me, LawPay, you can take payments online from the phone. It's all mobile friendly, correct?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have a mobile app, we have a swiper available, and so, there's a lot of options, and so it's really just taking a look at what makes sense for you. But, having a payment automatically recorded and applied to an open invoice takes a lot of those accounting steps off your plate. And so, if you can have people pay invoices and have that connected and automatic updates go into PracticePanther, there's a lot of value in that as well. So.
Right. And let me ask you a question. So from what I remember, if you have the card present and you're using the swiper, is there any benefit to using the swiper?
So the processing rate is the same. it would be that 1.95%,
Yep.
whether you swipe it or key it in. And one of the reasons we have our pricing structured that way is, we do have clients that are using mobile payments and, they are starting to use card readers when a client comes in, but the reality of life is the majority of the payments are still being typed in. And so
Yep.
our pricing is structured to give the lowest pricing for the most common use case we see, which is the keyed in transaction. And so swiping does help. It makes it faster. It's less likely there's going to be a mistake, which is nice. But, most of our clients are keying in the majority of their transactions. And so
Interesting.
the pricing is really structured to give you the best case or the best pricing for that scenario.
I'm going to go a little bit off topic. I have another random question.
Sure.
If someone does use the swiper, then do they also get an option to sign with their finger, let's say, like their signature?
So on the app, they do have the option to sign using their signature on the screen.
Okay.
Something we have online in our portal, which I wish I would have shown now, sorry, but we have the
Okay.
ability to capture an electronic signature. And so we can, once a payment's been received either through PracticePanther or also off one of your payment pages through LawPay,
Yeah.
you can send a request to the cardholder afterwards and say, hey, we would just like an electronic signature for our records. And it's
Oh,
really driving some peace of mind for our attorneys that are worried about these large retainer payments,
right.
where you want to have consent, you want to have authorization and all your ducks in a row, and we want to help you do that. And so we launched the ability to capture an electronic signature after a payment was typed in. And so we're starting to see our attorneys utilizing that as an additional protection uh, from the client, but really, disclosure to the client and getting agreements and getting all those things in writing up front. Also, using our authorization forms is a wonderful way to protect yourself from chargebacks or disputes down the road as well.
Well, that's what I was going for exactly. So obviously using the authorization forms, getting their signature, getting all your ducks in a row, the most you can do. So if,
Mhm.
God forbid, a chargeback does come up, you are obviously a lot better prepared to dispute it, correct?
Absolutely. So, if a chargeback does arise, you know, in our case, we're on the side of the attorney. And so in LawPay, we reach out and we ask for documentation that you had, number one, authorization to run the charge, and then number two, that you perform the work. And so depending on the nature of the case and what they're saying, you can turn in, as much or as little information as you feel comfortable disclosing. But we do a lot of hand holding in that process because we want to help you defend yourself and say, you know what, here's where the authorization is, here's where they got permission, we collected an electronic signature, we did everything right. It's
Right.
what we're trying to help the law firms, you know, learn and understand, and that way they can protect themselves and continue to take debit and credit card payments with peace of mind.
Awesome. So just to summarize for everyone, this is very important. If you have a client that you might think might do a chargeback, or even in general, any client, don't forget to make sure they fill out an authorization form, that you have their signature, and even if you have the swiper and they're in your office, get them to sign with their finger on the phone or the tablet. So as much information as you have, the better prepared you are to dispute a chargeback and win if that should arise. All right, so then moving on, this was option one in the software, charging a card yourself. Option two would be requesting a payment. So just like Janelle just showed us, basically you put in how much you want to request, and do you want them to pay you to your trust or operating account, and then you can preview how the email looks. You could change it around, so your customer will get an email from you with your logo coming from you saying, this is how much we're requesting, click here to pay, and it will go into this account. And the coolest part is that when they pay to the trust account, the fees come out of the operating account. It works exactly the same way. And then this is how it looks, by the way. This is the payment request email. It's fully customizable, and then you have email templates that you can customize as well. And then option three, you can add a payment manually yourself if you've already taken a payment with a credit card swiper. And whatever you do is obviously going to go back and sync with LawPay. So we're actually wrapping up. So one of the last few slides, I wanted you, Janelle. So a lot of people are listening in, and some people take credit cards, some people don't, some people use LawPay, some don't. So why should all attorneys use LawPay versus anyone else?
Sure, sure. So, I think that we offer the most complete package for law firms in the market today. And so, of course, we handle the trust and the operating account correctly to make sure that you're not commingling funds. We offer live support, which is unheard of in our industry, where we have
Yep.
people picking up the phone that can talk to you and answer questions about your money when you need us. And, when you're
And they're
handling.
in Texas. You don't outsource that as well. They're cool people in Texas.
That's right. That's right. We're all
Yeah.
here in the office in Texas. They're right outside my door. And, it's important when you have questions about your money that you be able to get to a live person and you be able to get good answers. And we can, make sure we're getting things handled. Uh, in our program, we offer a lot of modern payment tools. The LawPay program itself has payment pages, ways for you to quickly, you know, send out a request to a client and request a payment, but we also integrate with cloud-based solutions like PracticePanther. Again, giving you another avenue to collect payment and to make it easy. And so, those direct integrations with practice management software. We also work with billing and accounting software programs. We want to make it easy for you to take payments. And if you have any questions and you want to talk to us about ideas or concerns, we're here to help you. And I think that's the one thing that makes us so very different from the feet on the street that are coming out or your local banker. They don't specialize in legal. We live and breathe legal here at our office. So we'd love to help you if you'd give us the opportunity.
Awesome. And just one thing I want to share with everyone. We actually call and use the live chat with LawPay ourselves almost weekly whenever our customers have questions. And just to show off in a little example, on the side while you were talking, I went to your website, I clicked on live chat, and now I'm going to share a different screen with the audience that is actually a live chat panel. And within 8 seconds, I had Shannon chatting with us. I was going to say, thanks for your help on a call with Janelle, just testing you out. Thanks for the fast response. And that's what you can get from LawPay, everyone. So just so you know that, let me put back the PowerPoint slide.
I'm so glad we answered. Woo!
Oh, you always answer. You
put
have
the
no
bar
idea.
high. So
Yes.
goodness.
You know what? We text you guys every week, and you're always so fast. That's what we love about you. Your support is incredible. You're always easy to reach. And you're right. When someone has questions about their money, they're usually not on the happy side. So it's important to get someone that speaks English in their native language right away as soon as possible. And I know that because of the webinar we're doing for everyone listening in on the call and also everyone who watches it afterwards, you are offering a special promotion of 3 months free.
Correct. So, today, thank you for, allowing us, to present this to you, and we appreciate your time. I invite you to try LawPay. Let us set up a payment page. Let's get started. We'll waive the monthly fee for 3 months so that we can start to get some of these tools in place and start working with them and see if they benefit your firm. And so we'd love that opportunity and, love to help walk you through, possibly trying out a practice management software for the first time and sending out electronic invoices, So that's the invitation for today, and, would love for you to take advantage of it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And for everyone on the call, Janelle is actually giving you her personal email address. She is in charge of making sure everyone is happy. So anything you need, feel free to reach out to her directly or myself as well, and she will help you out. And Janelle, do you have a few minutes to stick around for questions? Because it looks like we have a bunch actually that came in.
Oh, great. Yeah. Nope. I'd love to.
Okay, awesome. And then for everyone else listening, we are going to send an email out with both links on how to sign up and how to get your free trial and how to save some money, as well as the recorded webinar so you can review it if you need to. And let's go to the first question. I'm going to choose Nancy because she seems to be on every single one of our webinars. So nice to see you again, Nancy. She asked, is there a discount for ABA members? I don't know, Janelle?
So the processing rate would be similar for ABA members and the monthly fee promotion. So we typically offer a similar promotion for our bar partners, and the ABA falls into that category. So it would be
Okay.
similar. You're getting the best of the best. So go ahead and give it a shot.
Yeah, and just so people know as well, so I know a lot about merchant software and systems. I know about all the rates for every company out there, and LawPay has some of the most competitive rates you will ever find. Now, the funniest thing is you're now saying our rates are this. Someone will tell you, oh, we can beat it. But then when you actually look at your statement at the end of the month, oh, there's a monthly fee, and then this fee, and a that fee, and a PCI compliance fee, and then an annual fee. So be very, very, very careful when someone tells you, because you're going to get 100 calls a day as an attorney, that they can lower your rates. They're always going to stick you some way or the other. So be careful, read the terms, and at the end of the month, you can just check how much you were charged, and that's really the actual rate. So be very careful. We see that a lot. So it's you got to be careful, which is why we love LawPay. They're trusted. Everyone knows them, and the ABA recommends them. Moving on, let's go to Walden, who asked, will PracticePanther allow automated billing for attorneys who sell legal services on a subscription basis? So for now, we don't offer that. You could do automatic payment reminders, but it is something that we're looking into with LawPay. If you do have to collect automatic payments on a subscription service every month, you could do the invoice with PracticePanther, and then you could set the automated subscription billing, the recurring billing, through LawPay like Janelle just showed us very easily. Okay, Carmina asked, what are the fees? Is it per transaction? Is it one monthly rate, etc.?
Perfect.
You know?
So let's walk through that in a little bit more detail because we just touched on it briefly in the webinar. But
yeah.
If you accept a personal debit or credit card, the processing rate is 1.95% of the sale amount plus a 20-cent transaction fee. And the reason there's two different fee components is step one, like we talked about earlier, is the authorization or the approval. So it costs 20 cents for the information to find out if the card is good or not. So let's say the card was declined. It would cost you 20 cents to find out they didn't have the money that day. If the card is approved and then we move money at the end of the day, we're going to deposit those funds directly into your local checking account. That's when the 1.95% comes into play. Okay. The only time that percentage rate would be different is if it's a corporate card or an international card, something of that nature. And then the processing rate is slightly higher at 2.95%. But on our program, we have it structured to be lawyer friendly. It's either one or the other. So we have a simplified pricing structure, so it's easier for you to understand and to be able to read your statements when you get them at the end of the month. And then on our program, there are no application fees. There's no monthly minimums. Most of our attorneys are fairly seasonal. So, you don't have to process a certain dollar amount each month. The agreement term is month to month. We feel like it's our job to earn your business every month. And so the monthly fee that's associated with the account just depends on how you want to handle your transactions. And so if you want to deposit everything into your trust account, which I've certainly seen, that's $15 a month, for example. If you want everything to go into operating, that would also be $15 a month. If you want the ability to designate and send money into both trust and operating, then it's just $5 more, and so it's $20 a month, and you can deposit into both accounts. And that includes setting up the account and includes your payment pages. All of those good things are part of the program.
So to summarize, basically for $20 a month, you could have two accounts operating in trust, and the starting rate is 1.95% for most debit and credit cards. That's pretty much it. That's easy. And then 20 cents transaction, that's it.
Correct. You got it.
All right. That's not bad at all. Okay, that's awesome. And just to put things into comparison, PayPal is 3.3% and 30 cents a transaction, so it's a lot lower. The next question comes from Alicia. can LawPay's link for the payment be included in the Panther invoice sent to a client? So I guess that question came earlier before we got to that slide. So yes, when you send an invoice to your customer with PracticePanther, at the very bottom of the invoice is going to be a big green gigantic button they can't miss that says make a payment, and as soon as they click on that, they can pay right away. You could also, we didn't cover this, but you could also offer the option that when they click the button, they're only allowed to pay the full amount, or they can select whatever amount they want to pay. So you can give that option also if you want. And okay, good question. One more thing as well that a lot of people ask, you're going to like this one, Janelle. A lot of attorneys send invoices out, and they call back and follow up, and their client picks up and says, no, I never got the invoice. No, because they obviously make excuses why they never paid. So with PracticePanther, this is a new feature. As soon as they view that invoice, it automatically sends you an email letting you know they viewed it. So you know they got it. Exactly. So
Very
they can't lie to you or anything like that. So you know they got it. Walden had a question. Can the automated payment plans be set up from within? Okay, so we answered that before. Where can we find the authorization language from LawPay?
Oh, sure. And, I'm happy if you want to send me an email after the webinar, but we have our support center, and I can either email you the documents as an attachment, or you can visit our support center, which is https support.lawpay.com. We have a getting started section, which is all about how you can process payments. And we have an article in there called How Do I Add Language, Credit Card Language, to my retainer agreement. But if that is too much to remember, just email jbenefield@lawpay.com, and I'm happy to just email those forms over to you. So whatever works best for you.
Thank you. And Carmina had a really good question. So basically with her, some invoices will have a balance which needs to be placed in the operating account when the client pays you. So let's say the client owes you $100, but sometimes they also need to include a note on the invoice saying, please also submit an extra $500 retainer within the next 14 days. So basically the client owes you $100, that has to go into the operating, and you also want to collect a $500 retainer for the trust. So how do we know if it's going to go here or there? So to answer this very simply, you're going to have to send them 2 separate invoices or 2 separate payment links. Please pay me $100 here, and this will go to the operating, and please pay me $500 with this link, which goes to the trust account. You won't be able to combine both. It's way too advanced for everyone, so just do 2 separate invoices. That would be the easiest way to do it with both programs, I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
I would recommend the same.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Alicia asked, hope I got that name right, is there an initial fee to LawPay or PracticePanther to set up a new LawPay account? So with us, no, we are one flat fee, $40 a month per person, or $30 a month annually, and all of our features and functions and integrations come included. And Janelle, LawPay?
Yep, same on this side. So there's no setup fees, startup fees, anything of that nature. Like David had mentioned, you can go online, you can register for a LawPay account, and then we waive the monthly fee for the first 3 months, which gives you a 90-day window to, try out some of this technology and get started before you'll start seeing monthly fees. So.
Awesome. Yep. And I have a question. How long does it generally take for someone to get approved and start processing credit cards? I know that it depends on their credit history and a bunch of things, but generally speaking, is there a general term date?
Yeah, so it's normally pretty quick. It's 2 to 3 days, but we do go through a bit of a process where, we look up and make sure you're an active member of the Bar Association. We verify that it's not a, abandoned warehouse, that your office location is real. And so we do have some things because there's a lot of fraud in the credit card industry. We need to confirm that you are who you say you are and that you really do exist. And so we do that process fairly quickly and get the accounts pushed through the system, but we do have to do a few checks just to make sure that, we are dealing with a real live person.
Awesome. Very good. And Nancy asked a question that we get asked all the time also. I already use LawPay. Can I get the 3 months free too? So people ask us all the time, oh, you have a new promotion now. You have a little coupon or a discount for New Year's or whatever. So for us, no, once you're a customer, you're a customer. You have your first promotion when you sign up, and that's it. And I'm guessing it's the same with LawPay.
It is similar. I'm happy to take a look, Nancy, but, we love having you on board. We'll make it better for you, we promise.
Awesome. And then we have a question that says, if PayPal doesn't have the trust and operating functions, why do attorneys even use PayPal? Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know.
Honestly, I just think PayPal is a big brand name. Everybody, they've done a really good job with their branding. Everyone knows them. It's similar to Square. PayPal and Square have spent a lot of money on advertising, and they brought good awareness, to the market. But at the end of the day, it's really, I feel like a program that's for attorneys that don't want to market credit card and debit card processing, and they just have something set up so that if somebody really digs their heels in and says, I only want to pay by credit card, they have an option to process that payment. But it is hard to use. We see a lot of abandonment on the payment page because PayPal asks you to log into your account. And so if you ask people to log in when they're trying to send you money, they typically get a little frustrated and they leave. And so it's much better to just have, a payment page in front of them. They type in their information and they click submit. And so, there's a lot of folks that it's just a brand name for them. And so they don't know what else is available. And so we'll always love to talk to those folks and show them all the new tools and things that are out in the market today to help law firms.
Awesome. And then Rudy asked a similar question to Carmina, same question, but if a client sends a $5,000 payment and $2,000 of it goes to the operating, the other $3,000 goes to the trust, so how do you split those funds? So same thing, send them 2 invoices, one payment should go here, one payment should go there, or if they send everything to the trust account, Rudy, so let's say they pay you $5,000 into the trust account, so you can just move the money that was earned, the $2,000 fee earned from the trust to the operating, as long as the client knows. Once again, you have to be transparent with how you're moving the money, and then you can move it over to the operating accounts. And you can do that with PracticePanther. You can make it known that you're transferring money, so it keeps everything in check with your balance when you move your money with your bank account. And then Carmina said, thank you so much, very helpful. Signing up as we speak, LawPay. So awesome, thanks, Carmina. I've known Carmina for a very long time, actually, so she's awesome. You're gonna like her a lot. And yeah, we got a few questions by email. PCI compliant, are you PCI compliant? So I know you answered yes. Now I have a question to add on to that. So what is PCI compliance? What does it mean? Why is it important?
Sure. Well, we didn't really go into a lot of detail about it, but the recent statistics show that all of us on the phone, on average, carry about 5.8 debit and credit cards today. So the numbers are up from even 2 years ago, where we all carried about roughly a little under 4 cards. So today, all of us are carrying debit and credit cards, and we use them all the time. Visa and MasterCard are marketing to us how simple and easy it is to use your debit card. And so, PCI compliance came out in 2006, as a way to combat fraud. And PCI stands for Payment Card Industry Compliance. There is a lot of fraud in our industry. People are trying to access and get that information. And so I think PCI compliance is very important and very relevant today, because the primary goal is to stop companies from storing full credit card data electronically if they don't have a way to protect or encrypt that information. And even big companies like Target and Home Depot that have robust IT departments have fallen victim, to having credit card data lost. And since all of us on the phone carry debit and credit cards, we want companies that are storing that information electronically to do it the right way, because they're protecting us as consumers. And so payment card industry compliance is something the card brands came up with in order, they created a data security standard which holds companies accountable. If they want to store credit card information, they have to follow some security protocols. And so it's very important and very good. Since we are a company that handles credit card information, we're held to the data security standard as well. And so we're a level 1 service provider. We go through annual audits. We have PCI folks that come out on site to look at our
Wow.
systems, that's part of the service is we take on that liability and that responsibility so that law firms don't have to worry about it. So you don't have to have an IT department. So you don't have to go through a complicated PCI compliance, walkthrough or answering the questionnaire. But as you can tell, I'm very passionate about it because I think it is important that companies, if they're going to store your credit card number, it shouldn't be in an Excel spreadsheet on somebody's laptop. You know, they have they have they should be held accountable to making sure it's safe and secure. And so that's what the PCI compliance standard is trying to accomplish.
Awesome. Got it. I had no idea that they're that strict and they come into your actual physical office to inspect everything. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that's part of the audit, and then there's, of course, pinging and checking on the system. There's all that involved as well. So.
Right. We got another question by email regarding chargebacks. How are chargebacks handled? So one thing I can at least add in here is that you talked a little bit about chargebacks earlier. You want to make sure that you have all the documentation, use at least LawPay or your own agreement that's put into the retainer agreement, accepting from your client that they know what they're paying for, they agree to everything, they agree to the terms, you have everything in writing, you have their signature, get as much as you can from your clients to protect yourself. And I guess the question is, how are chargebacks handled? So I guess the attorney gets a chargeback, they come onto your dashboard, and then they, I guess, deal with it that way?
Well, so if I could back up just 1 second, when chargebacks come up, it's a great opportunity to educate and let you guys know we get a lot of questions at LawPay. How do I take away a cardholder's right to initiate a chargeback? And so, you can't take that right away from them because that's given to them by the bank that issued their card. However, it's all in the language. And what you can do is in your retainer agreements, you can include a statement that says our refund policy is that once services are rendered, it is non-refundable. And you have the cardholder initial that statement. And that is a wonderful way to protect yourself from chargebacks, is that not only have you secured authorization from the cardholder, but you've also informed them of your refund policy. And legal services is not like a sweater. They can't take it back to the store and return it. Once you've given them representation, it is non-refundable. And so that's some important language that you can begin including in your retainer agreements today that will give you the peace of mind that you're disclosing that to the cardholder. Does it completely take away their right to initiate a chargeback? No, but it is a wonderful protection if you find yourself in that situation. You come up and say, I have a signature from the cardholder authorizing the $10,000 retainer payment, and I disclosed to him on a separate statement what the refund policy was. But to get into the specifics of a chargeback, you are emailed or you're sent an email from LawPay. You also get a letter in the mail typically. It says the cardholder on this date, for this dollar amount is questioning this transaction, please respond. And it's almost like a mediation case. It's he said versus she said. And we are collecting information, on our side, we're collecting it from the attorney, the business that ran the card. The issuing bank is collecting information from the cardholder, and then it goes into arbitration, almost where the card brands are making a decision after they review the story from both parties. And usually chargebacks take 40 days. to cycle through. They're actually fairly quick. They can be sooner, but you do have 40 days, so it's important once you get that notice, you get that documentation into us right away. Gives us the ability to perform a rebuttal if we need to.
You see, this is exactly why I love you guys so much, because no other credit card processor understands how attorneys work. They don't care. They don't know. They don't fight for attorneys. They don't know that services are rendered. You can't get money back. But you guys understand the industry, and that's why I love you so much. It seems like you really, really go out of your way to protect the attorney as much as possible.
Absolutely. We want you guys to feel safe and comfortable taking electronic payments. And, that's our job, is to educate you and give you the tools you need to do that.
Awesome. Interesting question by email that came through.
Okay.
Can I charge, I did some research on this, can I charge my clients a processing fee? So
I wondered where this question was.
Yeah.
It took a while to show up. Yeah.
Yeah. So from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, Visa, MasterCard, and certain other brands allow this since 2013, but you should always check with your local state laws, and many firms typically work the additional cost into their fees already, which is what's recommended as the best way to handle this. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So in 2013, the card brands did allow surcharging, meaning you can pass a percentage onto the cardholder to offset your cost. It's capped at 4%. And another caveat to surcharging is it can only be applied to credit cards. You're not supposed to surcharge debit cards. And so that can be problematic to enforce in the real world because we can't tell the difference when it's being typed in online between a debit card and a credit card.
Right.
So, there's also 10 states that have passed consumer protection laws that say you cannot assess a surcharge. Texas is one of them, for example. And so you can, we have a link to Visa's website where you can go and check and see if your state has a consumer protection law in place that prevents surcharging. But, two schools of thought. I do like what David had to say. You should assume about 2 to 3% in processing costs for moving that money into the account on a debit card or credit card. You can build that into your pricing, which is certainly the recommendation we always made prior to having the ability to add a surcharge. Or another thought is you could add a convenience fee. And a convenience fee can be added to an online payment that is truly convenient, like a payment page or PracticePanther.
I love it.
It has to be a flat rate, so it has to be something like $10 or $15. Now, my 2 cents on adding a fee when they're going to make a payment is you've just put a hurdle in front of them making that payment. When you're sending them email links, when you're sending them their invoice with the great big Pay Now button, you just want to make it easy so they click on it and they make the payment and they're not overthinking it or overanalyzing it. When you throw a fee on there, myself included, I get mad. Now, granted, I'm in the industry, but I'm like, dang it. Like here it is. I want to make a payment. I'm ready to send them money, and here's a fee. And it makes me stop and think, and you don't want them to do that. So if you can build it into your pricing, that's always
Janelle, you with us?
Practice.
Did we lose you?
Yep.
Looks like we might have lost her. Okay, so that was actually the last question, so it's okay we lost her. So just to summarize, that was a very interesting question. Can you charge your clients a processing fee? So the answer is yes in most states, except for 10 states. Visa and MasterCards started allowing this since 2013. You can charge a fee up to 4%. Texas says you cannot charge a surcharge, but you can do convenience fees. For the convenience of paying online, it has to be a flat rate, like $10 or $15. And we're going to give you the link in the email on which states you cannot do this with. So once again, we want to thank everyone so much for joining us today on the webinar with LawPay. And I want to thank Janelle and the whole team at LawPay for always being amazing and giving great support. This entire webinar is recorded. We're going to send you an email right after this with the full recording. And Janelle, thank you so much again. I'm sure you would say thank you back. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Another one coming soon your way. Have a great day and a great Olympics weekend. Take care.